Hello, my friends. It's good to see you again. Welcome back to the channel. And I am doing this video because for some reason all day today, every time I clicked on a video, this would be like one of the top recommended videos on the right side of the page. Excuse me. But this is Jimmy Carr, and the title of the video is When the Tax Man Came for Jimmy, and it's from 8 out of 10 Cats. Now, I've known about this for, without a lot of context, but I've known about this for 2 or 3 years because I think I did a reaction video to him on 8 out of 10 Cats where it was mentioned, something about taxes was mentioned, and then a lot of people chimed in with comments to give me the background of stuff, but just to give me a, some Wikipedia context here. I pulled up the Wikipedia page before. I'm going to read some of this before I watch this video, so bear with me, please. So this is the title of this on Jimmy Carr's Wikipedia page is 2012 Tax Avoidance. So here we go. In June 2012, Carr's involvement in an alleged K2 tax avoidance scheme came to light after an investigation by The Times. The scheme is understood to involve UK earners quitting their job and signing new employment contracts with offshore shell companies based on the low tax jurisdiction of Jersey. Prime Minister David Cameron said people work hard, they pay their taxes, they save up to go to one of his shows, they buy the tickets. He is taking the money from those tickets, and he, as far as I can see, is putting all of that into some very dodgy tax avoiding schemes. Two things I find funny about that. The Prime Minister is commenting on a stand-up comedian, and then two, he's acting like politicians don't do some really fucked up shit with the money that they take from people. It's just funny, man. But to catch the attention of the prime fucking minister, that's wild. To continue, Carr subsequently pulled out of the scheme, apologizing for a terrible error of judgment. Viewing figures of the episode of his topical show 8 out of 10 Cats, recorded on the day of his apology and broadcast the following day, almost doubled compared with the previous week. That's crazy. So they're tuning in. So some of you guys watching this reaction video, you guys were tuning in to see what he had to say about it. Or the lack of saying anything about it, just to see if it was mentioned. That's crazy. Earlier in 2012, during a second series of Channel 4's satirical news program, 10 O'Clock Live, Carr had lampooned people who avoid paying their taxes. Oh, God. A sketch from the show in which he poked fun at the 1% tax rate of Barclays Bank and described tax lawyers as being aggressive and immoral was regarded as having come back to haunt him. Oh, man. And then in February 2018, Carr appeared... Well, I mean, I don't think I want to read that because that might be spoilers. Well, maybe not. Hold on. Though he admitted what he did was wrong, he said there was some level of hypocrisy in the comments that Cameron made about him in 2012, stating that members of Cameron's family and Queen Elizabeth II had subsequently been mentioned in the Panama Papers and Paradise Papers tax evasion scandals. Ooh! Juicy. Carr said that the law should become clear by eliminating any loopholes instead of leaving it up to individuals to decide what is morally right. Carr continues to reference the scandal at his performances and public appearances. Well, that's awesome. He's still making fun of himself, which is the best thing he can do. He takes heckles on the subject with good humor, including responding to a heckle on the subject saying there's two shows, one at 7 and one at 9:30. One for me, one for them. Dude, okay. So, having said that, now that I've been caught up with what's what here. Oh, excuse me. I don't have this thing set up correctly. Silly me. Let's hear him. So this is the episode when everybody was like, what's he going to say? Is he going to say anything? What's going on here? So I kind of feel giddy, like I've traveled back in time to find out what he said the next day. So this is pretty cool. But yeah, this was recommended in my feed like 5 times. I was like, well, I got to do it. So Here we go. Hopefully you guys enjoy this reaction. Remember to like, subscribe, do whatever you guys want. And let's check out Jimmy. This is on Jimmy Carr's channel, by the way, so go check it out. And when the tax man came for Jimmy. Hit us away, sir.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys, statistics, and this week, I'm guessing, me. But before we get to that, 15% of prisoners are on drugs. How do they get hold of so many drugs in prison? I guess they're smuggled in by some arsehole. Yeah, bum jokes still work, good news. The average Brit spends 121 hours sitting on the toilet every year, which is about 20 minutes a day if you can work it out, or 40 minutes a day if you can't work it out. And Mexico City is the worst place in the world to be a commuter, especially for me. I work in Shepherd's Bush. Right, well, I can't put it off any longer. Let's get started.
I didn't get that one. I don't know what Shepherd's Bush is.
What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panelist's job to get the punchline.
Yo, Sean Long, he's just sitting there. He can't wait. He can't wait. Oh my God, what's he gonna do?
5 most popular talking points. Sean, Sarah, Georgie, anything you've been chatting? Anything caught your eye in the papers?
Well, Jimmy,
This week.
we all like to put a bit of money away for a rainy day, don't we? But I think you're more prepared than Noah.
Yo! He opens up with a 10 out of 10 joke about it. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude.
I think you've grabbed a few headlines this week. In fact, when I heard that you were on the front page of the paper, to be honest, I was expecting a lot worse. I was expecting to see like one of those white police tents in the background. And a copper holding your laptop in a see-through carrier bag. So I was quite relieved when I found out what it was really for.
On the plus side, at least you've been in a top 5 list of something.
Who was that? Why is she burned? That was a sick burn.
Georgie Thompson?
Probably, a positive spin on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a positive spin. But thank you.
We can all now see why you work so hard. You get to keep all the money.
Oh my God.
But you've apologised, haven't you? You've apologised today.
I have apologised, Sean, and in my defence... No, I got nothing.
I just want to ask you this question, because in your apology it said, my accountant said to me, do you want to pay less tax? And it's totally legal. Can you answer, when you were having that conversation, were you on a telephone and was there thick plastic glass between the two of you? Did he have like a sort of boiler suit type uniform? And a very sort of brutal haircut? Because the best accountants, that's where they are, in jail.
Your money was in Jersey. Did you just go like on a holiday once and think, this is lovely?
Yo, the fact that it's Sean Locke and Sarah Millican leading the way on this. It's Millican, right, with a C. But the fact that it's them two leading the way and just taking the piss out of him, it's awesome.
Probably just going to leave some stuff here. Like at my boyfriend's, I've got a hairbrush. That sort of thing.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's the case, is it? No.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
You know what, though? OK, now this is me getting political shit. Now, well, sort of. There's no essence. I mean, what Tony... No, it's not Tony Blair now. It's our Prime Minister.
You are near enough.
No, it's Nick Clegg and what's his name? what's his name? He's so nondescript. Wanker. Let's call him Wanker. Okay, there you go. Now, for him to say it's immoral, I mean, I think that's a bit wrong from him, isn't it, really? I mean, you know, talking about moral...
I know, what have I ever said about David Cameron?
Exactly. And the fact is...
Literally hundreds of things every week. Absolutely fair enough.
If they hadn't made that law, you know, they made it for them originally, you see, so it's all right for them. It's just not all right for the common man. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think anyone is thinking of me as the common man.
And also, and then they're saying about, you know, you're going to take Gary's OB or MBE away, you know what I mean? I mean, at least he gives us pleasure with his song, You Make Us Laugh. What do they do when they rape us for our fucking tax? Nothing. They make us cry. Do you know what I mean?
Louis, I mean, Jimmy is funny, but 1%, fuck me.
Yeah.
Did you bid him down a bit, Jim? Did he go, look, can't we call it 0.5?
Any political rant is weakened by not knowing the name of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, but
I think Louis' political opinions are best expressed through the medium of dance.
Oh, yeah, so...
Oh, here we go.
So...
Oh, shit. And he wanks at the end. Oh, God. He didn't know what to do.
I didn't think I could feel any worse. But there it is.
I thought this week of all weeks we might get to the second round before you did a dance. I didn't think... What a pleasure it is to be sat next to the only man in Britain more flexible than your accountant, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. If there's something that if a celebrity does something like this right here, everything that I've seen and like everything I'm going to watch in this, them poking fun at this and addressing it in a funny way, it's probably the best thing that probably could have happened to the guy, to Jimmy, for this. I mean, if he just like kind of avoided it, it just would have made it worse. But the fact that he's just sitting there and taking all this abuse from everybody else on the panel in a loving way, but it's kind of abuse, verbal abuse. But it's like, yeah, like he's taking his licks, and it's like, all right. And then my guess is that afterwards, like you'd be what's the best way to say this? You'd be hard pressed to find somebody that would like still be mad at him for it, you know? I mean, I know from just that Wikipedia page alone that people heckle him about it constantly still to this day. But I wouldn't think anybody would be mad at him for it, you know, because of the way he handled it with this clip here. Anyway.
Best way to reduce stress.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Best way to reduce stress, pay your taxes.
I must just say this in case the tax man is watching. Hello, I'm Jimmy. I don't think we've met.
Jim, what you've done is you've single-handedly brought this out into the open, and by next week you're going to be wearing a cape, you're going to be going over the rest of it. It's Jimmy, the revealer!
Are you suggesting that I'm going to become some sort of government tax czar off the back of this?
Genuinely, I wouldn't worry about not working for the government. It didn't do Philip Green any harm. So I reckon you'll probably be Prime Minister in a couple of years.
There's that new TV show you can do, Through the Loophole.
Yeah! God damn it. Oh. Dude. Why did he have to be taken from us? Sean Locke, rest in peace, man. That guy.
can you afford to live in a house like this? You're bad spec. I got 3 words for you. Bush Tucker trial this autumn.
I didn't get that one.
Shall we see if my taxes are up there? Let's have a look.
Number 2.
It's number 2.
Holding, yeah.
This is probably a good point to say hello to the millions of extra viewers who will be watching this evening. So. Good evening, Your Majesty. You just can't get the jesters anymore, can you? Oh. I never knew what OBE stood for. It turns out it's offshore banking expert.
Well, wasn't the worst thing? You were saying, weren't you, they put a fat picture of you in the paper.
That was unfair.
That's fucking sacrilege. Look at him. The epitome of health, thin, gorgeous, a well-tailored suit, and they put a fat picture of him in the paper.
I'll be honest, that wasn't the worst thing about my week.
In the East End, you are a godlike figure now, though. You're known as the slippery one.
Fuck. You know what else I found out from that Wikipedia page? That Jimmy Carr is Irish. I didn't know that. That's happened. I feel like that's happened to me twice this week. I watched. I did a movie reaction on Patreon to the Patriot Games with Harrison Ford, and Richard Harris is in there, and I made the mistake of calling him an English legend. I should have said British legend, which he is. But I said English legend, and somebody quickly chimed in. Did you just say Richard Harris was English? And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh my God, he's Irish. I had no idea. No idea. So Ireland, I'm sorry. I had no idea. I literally had no fucking clue. And same with Jimmy. I found that out on his Wikipedia page too. He's actually Irish. But he was born and raised in he was born in London. I saw that. And he was born and raised in England, I think. So, I don't know. But I know when you call somebody from the wrong country in the UK, then it's a shitstorm. But that happened to me also with Rod Gilbert. I called him Scottish in a video, and Wales never... they still are taking the piss out of me for that. Shout out to Wales, but anyway.
You've overtaken the Cray twins in respect.
I quite like the new you, because I've never seen you vulnerable before.
It's humble, isn't it?
It's kind of sexy, to be honest.
What, you and Louis?
I love a broken man. I like a man who looks like he's on the verge of tears at any point.
He does look like he needs a bit of a cuddle, doesn't he? He does.
No.
There should be absolutely no sympathy. I mean, I really appreciate it, but there should be no sympathy for me at all. It's my own stupid fault. That's what it is.
Accountability.
I think actually what it is, you've got an illness. I think you're actually...
That's not in the papers till Sunday.
No. I think you're suffering from a problem that's affected a lot of people. It's called tax intolerance. I think you've got that quite badly. You might even be HMRC positive.
I understood that
I honestly
one.
thought if I was going to get into trouble for anything this year, it would be a joke about the Paralympics.
Right. Well, you can still do that. Why not do the double?
Pretty much do anything now.
What I don't understand is there's been some defence of you, I'll say that. Ridiculous defence. The term legal loophole, that's like saying if someone bends over in front of you in the street, you are presented with a legal loophole. It's not really your
Don't say
fault.
that sitting next to Louis.
I wouldn't call it a legal loophole.
An administrative nightmare in your case, but...
Well, the thing is to remember is it's not illegal. What Jimmy did is not illegal. But then again, neither's farting in a lift, is it? But... I'll wait till I get to reception. You know, you think about other people. That's probably where you might have let yourselves and others down.
But, Jim, the one serious question I want to ask you is, did you not think there was a possibility you would get tumbled, as they say? You know, because that's what I would have thought, and I didn't go to Cambridge. This might come out, you know.
Yeah, I mean...
Did you not think that, or did you just think, fuck 'em, I'll write it out?
Not at all. I didn't... I mean, I think not to be glib about it, but I don't think I really thought at all.
You didn't think it might come out?
No, I didn't think about it at all. Just thought it's a you know, I don't know, but I just didn't really think. That's really stupid thing. I made a very, very poor judgment call on what to do.
Have you got that 15 quid you owed me then?
I could tell you about the work I do for charity, but I don't think lying's going to make this any better, is
it? Dude, like, I feel like, especially, and this was 2012, so 13 years ago, and even 13 years ago, I feel like 99% of the people who would have been embroiled in a scandal like this, if they're a celebrity, would not take accountability. They would be like, don't believe it, it's not true, if they even mentioned it at all, you know? So, that seems to be a lost thing these days, taking accountability for your own actions, especially when you make errors. So, it's a lost art, I must say.
We were here a week ago, weren't we, having a good old laugh? And now you've lost the moral high ground to News International and David Cameron. You can only make jokes about Hitler, Harold Shipman and Chico from the X Factor. That's it. I don't understand. Tell me it's all a lie.
Well, John, I hate to sound like I'm passing the buck, but I tell you who I blame for this whole mess. Me. It's entirely my fault. It's actually quite a complicated arrangement, but I think from a legal standpoint now, I'm actually a member of Take That.
You should have got my accountant. I got a brilliant accountant. Best accountant in the world. I got Stephen Hawking. He's put my money in another dimension.
Fuck off, dude. Oh my God, Sean Locke is a fucking genius, dude. Oh God, oh man, it makes me so upset that he's not here.
Why didn't they make Gary Barlow the poster boy and not you?
Well, I think lots of people said in the papers this week, yeah, why is there one rule for pop stars and one rule for comedians? But may I be the first to say, absolutely fair enough. It's Gary Barlow. He used to be in Take That. Leave him alone.
Well, as they're called now, Keep That.
But you've been a bad lad and you've apologised.
Yeah.
So that stands for something, doesn't it?
But men learn very quickly that sorry is not enough. You learn that very early. You go home and you go, I'm really sorry. I should have come home this year.
Well...
And the wife don't go, well, as long as you're sorry.
When will you learn that flowers solve everything?
You think I should buy David Cameron flowers?
The biggest bouquet he's ever received.
David Cameron got involved because he's in charge of the economy and he gets shit in the papers every day for having to fire nurses and doctors, and one of the reasons he has to do that is because there isn't enough money in the pot, and one of the reasons there isn't enough money in the pot is because not everybody pays their tax.
Right, one more thing to get fingers on buzzers. Sean.
Is it that Julian Assange is hiding in the Ecuadorian embassy now? He's hiding in there because they've turned down his appeals against being extradited to Sweden. He's worried about going on trial in Sweden on rape charges. He's worried about it because he's got a habit of telling the truth and it won't turn out very well for him.
How do you sort of approach an embassy and seek asylum within it? How does that work?
I've literally no idea. I imagine I'll find out later in the week.
Yeah. New Jersey.
I like how even he's like, everybody's doing jokes about the situation, but even Jimmy's doing jokes about the situation after, and starting them sometimes like he did there.
And seek asylum within it. How does that work?
I've literally no idea. I imagine I'll find out later in the week.
Yeah. New Jersey don't have an embassy. I reckon you're best off in Switzerland, because then you can do looky-likey work for Roger Federer.
Oh, God! He kind of does, a little bit.
Gary Barlow's been given an OBE in the same week he's been accused of avoiding millions in tax. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right about now. least romantic thing to do on your honeymoon? John.
Keep the receipts.
Yeah,
Solid advice. I should write that down.
Why don't your account say she wants to swim with dolphins? Can I claim it?
So what else have the nation been talking about, John?
I think we should move on now, shouldn't we, and discuss something else?
No, I don't think so. I think this is the one opportunity because, you know, but let's put some stuff on the table about Jimmy. He gave me a lift all the way home from Birmingham once, didn't you?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah, and dropped me off at Reading. And he refused to take any petrol money from me.
So if anyone was on the fence on me, I think, clearly...
Yeah. I just thought, you know, it's not all bad, Jim, you know.
Yeah,
and I
but
remember
mainly.
you bought a pasty as well, if I remember right. And you only gave me 1% of it, but that's not...
Seriously, what else have people been talking about?
There was a doctor's strike yesterday.
Tell me
Doctors are on strike, and they have said they're not happy. And it's basically, it's all about the pensions, because, you know, their pensions are quite, you know, substantial, and we can't afford their pensions, because not everyone pays the tax.
Yo, this is amazing.
Just put that away. And I don't think it'll affect a lot of people, you know. Nothing, all the emergencies are going to be done. You know, if you're really ill, just go to a golf course, collapse in front of a doctor, he's got to help you.
Last week we talked about the Euros.
Oh, God, how much more of this is there? Wow, this goes on for
We were
quite a
talking about
bit.
panini stickers. You revealed that you are a panini sticker...
Stickerman.
Sticker collector.
A stickerman. How are you doing on your collection?
Do you know, I bought 8 packs yesterday and I didn't get a single shiny.
I think... Well, a little bit of good news. I've got you a little present. I've got you a little present here. I think you'll enjoy that.
It's me as a sticker.
Ah, look at that.
Oh, John sticker.
And if you do one of those for all the tax inspectors in Britain...
Okay, best way to reduce stress.
Oh, man.
John?
I don't think there's enough stress. I think too many people are relaxed about, oh, you know, it'll be all right. Stress gets stuff done, doesn't it? Stress says, oh, shit, tax return.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Carr, and...
Yes, go subscribe to Jimmy's channel if you like him. But maybe the tax stuff turned you off. I don't know. I've actually been subscribed to his channel for a very long time, or since, not a very long time, but like for probably 3 years now, however long since I've been doing these reaction videos. I've become a fan. I think I've watched, 2 of his stand-up specials on my own. So, I like the guy. That was probably the amazing part about that is it was probably the best way to just get it behind you and not have that hanging over his career, because he does so much, especially during that time. I think he was hosting I feel like he's hosted like 5 or 6 different shows, but at that particular time, like, how many shows was he hosting at that particular time? Like 3 or 4 or something like that? I don't know. But, yeah, that was probably the best thing. And Sean Locke really helped him out with that, man, because he was saying the best jokes. Rest in peace, Sean Locke. He's amazing. But, yeah, it's the best thing that could have happened to him, I think. Because if he just, like, put up excuses or didn't address it at all, you know, or went through, like, a big legal battle, I don't know. I feel like he'd probably be half as renowned as he is now. Because now, like, you know, even when people were... When I watched that one... Because there was a tax joke in one of those 8 out of 10 Cats compilations that he was in. And I remember thinking, like, what was that all about? And then a bunch of people chimed in about the tax thing. But none of it was... not one person was like, yeah, man, he avoided taxes, the guy's a piece of shit. Nothing negative. It was just like, in fact, I think like half the people mentioned, like, yeah, it was the tax thing, and there's actually like a whole episode where they poke fun at him for it, and he takes accountability for it. So I think that really helped him out in the long run. I actually recently saw that he was in the States doing shows a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh shit, he's here? Like, can I get a ticket to a show? But he of the remaining shows that were on his schedule, none of them were in Florida. So either he already came to Florida at some point, or he never came at all. But I would love to go to a Jimmy Carr show. I'm going to a Kevin well, I haven't bought tickets yet. I'm still waiting for the Kevin Bridges tickets to become available so I can get a ticket to a show. Hopefully he comes to somewhere in Florida so I can go see him. But yeah, the tax man came for Jimmy. That was fantastic. And I bet, yeah, I can see why that, like, the viewing figures doubled, because everybody's like, ooh, how's this going to go out? And then it becomes this, and everybody's just dying laughing about it. So, that's awesome. I think that's awesome. And the thing that I also, like, I can't stress that I feel like nobody does this, that nobody takes accountability for their actions on what they, when they fuck up. It's a kind of like a lost art in a lot of ways, Not that I do it every time. I've done plenty of things wrong where I should have, like, apologized or at least addressed it or been nicer to people, but I haven't, to my shame. But yeah, I feel like the world needs more of that, So it's utterly hilarious and it's a hilarious and heartwarming thing that comes out of a fuck up. It's I think it's amazing. Anyway, I will still continue to be a fan of Jimmy Carr. I don't care what anybody says. And Sean Locke, man, I wish he were still around. That was utterly amazing. Anyway, I could go on and on about this, but that was probably one of the best compilation videos I've seen in quite some time. Jimmy Carr's got his own channel if you want to check it out. In the meantime, I am out of here. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Like, subscribe, do whatever you guys want, and I will see you again soon. Have a great day.